Welcome, fellow Toastmasters and guests. This meeting of online presenters has now begun. Guests, please note that in order to be a member of our club, you must be a current or former active member of Toastmasters International and have completed at least 6 speeches from either the traditional or pathways programs, or you must have substantial relevant presentation experience that you demonstrate to us in a 2 to 3 minute speech delivered during one of our club meetings. All requests for membership are subject. Please change your panel to ensure it shows your name and role if you have one. Right click and select rename to do so. We have members and oftentimes guests from many countries throughout the world. Thus, as a professional organization, we ask that you please be aware of language or word usage that may be considered offensive or otherwise insensitive due to cultural differences. Please note that we are recording this meeting. Your video and audio contributions may be used for our club marketing purposes. Also, please be sure to mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Please welcome me, our club president. Thank you. Okay, welcome everyone to the meeting. So happy to see you all here. This evening, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you may be, we have a packed agenda today. So all I am going to say as far as some opening remarks is for those of you that attended the conference, I hope you had a wonderful time. Again, congratulations to Matt Kinsey, who is from District 47, which is my home district, although now I'm in a different physical district, but I'm part of Online Presenters. So I'm still consider myself to almost be like an honorary member of District 47.
That's fine. I'm back.
Sorry. So again, we're gonna start off with first a couple of folks we're going to do some, I guess I'll call them some moments before we hand things over to our Toastmaster of the day. Andy, I know you mentioned a few things during the warm-up exercise and networking portion, but feel free to give us 1 to 2 minutes of a quick summary of what you have going on with the educational department.
In the educational department, as Vice President of Education, we are forming a committee of individuals to deal with all of the roles that education is responsible for. If you look to the chat, you'll find out that many people have stepped forward and volunteered for some of those roles. We still have 3 positions left. I left my information for you to contact me, and I'll be happy to review it with you. Also have a diagram of how the committee is structured and how it relates to the rest of the club. Back to you, Lou.
Thank you, Andy. Wonderful. Okay, we have a very interesting situation right now because we have a new member who I will be inducting right now, but she is also the Toastmaster of the day. I believe this has got to be a first where someone who joined us and is being inducted is then just hitting the ground running with being our Toastmaster of the day. This is wonderful. Bear with me 1 second while I get things set up here. Is everyone able to see my screen? Somebody just say, okay, thumbs up. Wonderful, thank you.
Yes.
Awesome, thanks, sir. Okay, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, on behalf of Online Presenters Toastmasters, it is my duty and privilege to induct Kim Leeming into our club. This is an important occasion, both for Kim and for our club. As experienced speakers and Toastmasters, Kim will enrich us as we strive to enrich her in a spirit of sharing and enjoyment. Together, we all expand our effectiveness as dynamic leaders, presenters, and communicators. Now, Kim, please wait until I call on you to affirm your commitment to the Toastmasters promise. In the presence of fellow online presenters, Kim, do you pledge to attend meetings regularly and prepare for each assignment, to actively participate in club activities, to evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner, to build open, friendly relationships with our fellow members, and to bring other members into the club so that they too can gain the benefits of Toastmasters? Kim, please unmute and say, I do.
I do.
Wonderful, thank you. To the current members of Online Presenters, I remind each of you of your pledge to support Kim in her quest for self-development, to provide her with positive, helpful evaluations to maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere and to make her online presenters Toastmasters membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience. Congratulations again, Kim. Welcome to Online Presenters. Everyone else, please unmute and give Kim a warm welcome round of applause.
One of us, one of us, one of us, one of us.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the next portion. We have a special election that we will be conducting. Sadly, one of our members who's been with us a while, Roxanne Hossein, who was our current Sergeant at Arms, is unable to continue not just with her duties as Sergeant at Arms, but she'll be unable to attend our meeting for the unforeseen future. So with that said, we will be holding a special election to fill this vacancy. Before proceeding, I would like to ask our Secretary, Donna Knight, I'm looking around for you, just feel free to shout out. Do we have a quorum for this election? Donna, can you hear me?
Oh, my apologies, I'd fallen off. I just came back. Could you repeat, please?
Do we have a quorum for the election?
Yes, we do, sir. Yes, we do have a quorum.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Now, folks, both Donna and Andrew Byrne, our VPE, are our parliamentary experts. I am going to conduct this election as best I know how. I've asked each of them to kind of chime in case I screw up a step here or there. So please bear with me. Okay, so per TI policy, we are given or vested with the authority to both accept resignations from any existing officer as well as to replace that person. We have received interest from one person so far in the role of Sergeant at Arms. Toastmaster Heath, I believe. I did see you. Are you with us, ma'am? Oh, there you are. Thank you. Do you formally accept this nomination or your interest in the Sergeant at Arms role?
Yes, I do.
Okay, wonderful. Now, normally at this point, we would ask Angela to do a brief 1 to 2 minute speech, which you are still more than welcome to do. Before we do that, though, I would like to ask if there are any other folks who would either like to nominate someone to the position or nominate themselves for the officer role of Sergeant at Arms. Do I have any nominations? And from what I understand, this is almost like an auction. Going once. Any nominations? Going twice. Any nominations? Okay, auction is closed. So Toastmaster Heath, you are still welcome to give a 1 to 2 minute speech if you like. Would you like to do so?
Well, I won't take that long, but I just want to say I took a year to check out the club, get a little understanding of how things operate, who you guys are. And after a year, I decided I would love to become more involved with the leadership of the club and helping a great club be even greater. So I look forward to working with you guys and helping us to stay on track and even grow bigger, better, and brighter. And that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I would like to hear a motion to close nominations for the officer role of Sergeant at Arms. May I hear a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you. A second.
I'll second.
Wonderful. Thank you. All further nominations are closed. From what I
Will I
understand,
make a motion to have unanimous consent?
do we need a second for that?
No.
Okay, motion for unanimous consent to elect Toastmaster Angela Heath to Sergeant at Arms. Does that require a hand wave or anything, or what's the call there, Andrew?
You just say, all those that support unanimous consent, say aye.
All those
Aye.
who support what he just said.
Aye.
Are there any negatives? Anyone
Any
not support
nays?
unanimous consent? All right, it's done.
The A's have it. Congratulations, Toastmaster Heath, our new Sergeant at Arms. We will be in touch very shortly so we can get you up to speed. Very good. Okay. Let's turn things over right away to our Toastmaster of the day, Kim Leeming, who will kick off the main portion of our program. Take it away.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome everyone to Online Presenters Toastmasters. The theme of the day today is magic, and the word of the day is illusion. I chose this theme because I'm Blondini. By show of hands, how many people here appreciate the fine art of magic when performed correctly? Okay, well, I will do my best not to disappoint any of you. You can see. Yeah, thank you very much. $500, and that's all that thing does. There's another $100. Ta-da. If you're wondering about the rabbit, he's no longer in the show. Yeah, he never should have peed in a hat. $100 hat, $8 rabbit. You do the math. I know I can't because I'm Blondini. Now let's get back to the meeting while I try to create the illusion that I'm an experienced Toastmaster of the day. Our meetings consist of three main parts. The first part is the prepared speeches. This is where people present a speech for a particular project. The second part is table topics. This is the impromptu speaking part of the meeting, where we practice speaking off the cuff. And the final part is the evaluation portion of the meeting. Each speaker will receive an evaluation. This is a great opportunity to learn from the feedback the speakers receive. It may seem like the Toastmaster of the day runs a meeting, but that's just an illusion. I will not be running this meeting all by myself. I have a lot of help. I will now introduce the people who will be assisting me today. So first up, we have the timer. And timer of the day is Antoinette Trim. Antoinette, would you please tell us your duties as timer?
Magic trick, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Angela Trim has now become Donna Knight. And whether or not
Oh, that's
believe
right.
it,
I'm Donna Knight. I picked up the paper to read your name and I still read Antoinette. I'm sorry.
that's fine. Who knows what my deed poll will read? But we have this concept of time, and it's not an illusion, especially when you have other things to do. So to keep you on track, I'm asking you to pay attention to my background. You will see green, yellow, and red. Each speaker knows how much time he or she has, but table topics, you have 2 minutes in which to speak. The green color, when it comes up, means that you have another minute to go. The yellow, when it comes up, means that you should be ending your speech, and the red means that you should end. All speakers, I'm asking you, pay attention to my background, because just like that, your time will go. Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Donna. Next up is our awe counter. Lucas Calfel. Lucas, could you please describe your duties tonight?
Yes, I certainly can, Madam Toastmaster. My role here is to listen carefully for the common coach words that we use in everyday speech. The ahs, ums, wells, so's, you knows, ands, buts, like, wells, all kinds. I will listen carefully and give a report back towards the end of the meeting. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Lucas. Next up is our grammarian, Graham Carnes. Graham, could you please talk about your role tonight?
Yes, Madam Toastmaster, through the art of prestidigitation, I will be conjuring some fabulous use of language from amongst you. Actually, truth be known, I won't be conjuring anything. I'll be watching and listening for your use of the language. If it's good, I will make comment on that. If it's bad, I will also make comment. There's great grammar for a start. But yes, I'll be watching for good and bad grammar throughout the evening and then reporting at the end of the meeting.
Thank you, Graham. Tonight's watcher is Jim Barber. Jim, could you please share your duties for tonight?
With pleasure, Madam Toastmaster, also known as the Great Blondini, my fellow Toastmasters and our most welcome guest this evening. As the watcher, my duties and responsibilities are, wait for it, watching. I'm going to be observing everybody's visual presence, and I will be commenting at the end of the meeting on any improvements that we might need to make, although I don't expect that there will be any. And I will also be noting those people who are exhibiting an exceptional interpretation of the theme or word of the day. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jim. Tonight's chant monitor is Laura Deanda. Laura, could you please talk about your role tonight?
Happy to do that. As chat monitor, I will be looking closely at everyone's chat messages. I will give a report when called upon. As a friendly reminder, anyone can save their chats by clicking on the 3 dots next to the emoji, and you can save the entire chat. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Laura. Our vote counter for tonight is David Carr. David, could you please describe your role?
Sure, I will be collecting votes for speaker, evaluator, and table topics. I do have a little magic trick tonight, which is just a new way of doing that. Rather than sending me private chat messages, I will post a link in the chat saying vote for speaker, and you will get a little ballot that looks something like this, and you just click vote. There's no login required for that. Now, as the vote counter, I have a little dashboard where I'll be able to see the results come in. And one of the reasons I like this way of doing it is that to set this up, I have the roles read in from the agenda, and I can just check off the people who actually showed up to fill the roles. And then if I want to add somebody else, it helps me spell their names right. So give it a try. If it doesn't work, let me know.
Thank you, David. We're looking forward to your voting magic. This brings us to the prepared speeches portion of the meeting. Our first speaker tonight is Angela Heath. Her evaluator is Lai-Sing Zhu. Lai-Sing, would you please describe Angela's objectives for tonight?
Hello, everyone. This is Lai-Sing Zhu. It's my privilege to evaluate Angela Heath's speech. Her speech is on the level of the topic. The pathway is mastering presentation or presentation mastering at the level 1, and the speech about evaluation and feedback. I don't know her title. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Lai-Sing. Angela's speech is titled The Authority Triangle, True and False Thought Leadership. True and False Thought Leadership. This is presentation mastery level 1, mastering fundamentals, evaluation and feedback for speech. In these times when everyone is considered an expert, Angela will show us the difference between true thought leadership and fake thought leadership. The purpose of this project is to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to the second speech. This is the first speech. Please welcome ATMB Angela Heath, The Authority Triangle, True and False Thought Leadership.
Thank you. Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, has anybody here seen that HBO special called Fake Famous? Raise your hand if you've seen it. How many of you have seen Fake Famous? If you have not, it seems like most of you haven't, I really encourage you to check it out. In fact, let me show a bit of it so you can understand what my talk is all about. Okay, I think you get the message here. I want to let you in on a conversation I had with a number of millennials about this concept of thought leadership. They told me that the influencers that they admire are actually thought leaders. And I said, I'm not sure about that. So what I want to talk about today is authentic versus counterfeit shine. Now, shine is a word that I use that means being seen, heard, and noticed in a marketplace. But when I use it, I mean for something good for thought leaders. When you think about the term thought leader, we think about someone who rises to the top in their industry. And I have this very simple way of explaining it that I shared with my group of millennials. When I think of thought leadership, this is a clear definition. A thought leader is someone who can express ideas almost magically and demonstrate their expertise in their industry. And this is an important part of the definition. They use content marketing and social media to spread their message. But these are just keys to successful thought leadership. It is not the thought leadership itself. I shared with this group of millennials the authority triangle. And I told them, if you look at any industry, you will find this. Thought leaders have something unique at the core, the reason why they want to do it. They spend hours, blood, sweat, and tears developing their expertise. They rise up and become subject matter experts, meaning that they understand their industry from top to bottom. That causes them to do things like write books, do thoughtful podcasts. You see, in my estimation, a thought leader understands the tactics and the strategies within their industry that will really move that industry forward. And they have proven repeatable processes that impact their industry. So when I was sharing this with my son, I said, let me make it easy for you. A thought leader is a thought leader because that's who they are. And out of who they are, they serve up what they do. They say things differently, they write things differently because they look at the industry from different angles. And they're able to teach, and they are able to replicate an outcome. That's a thought leader. And then finally, I shared this. The millennials didn't like this very much. I said, this is what I see happening with your influencers, these fake thought leaders. See, it's all based on what they say. It's based on keywords. It's based on research about the audience. It's all advertising and promotion. So if you hire them to do something, most of the time, what can they do? And what can they actually teach? Many of these influencers have a lot of fake promises. They promise people that they can take them from 0 to 100 overnight. And so the problem with a lot of these influencers is that they are not who they tell the young people that they are. Well, honestly, I'd love to say that my recommendation was, agreed to, but I have to share with you guys. I left that millennial group and we just agreed to disagree. They told me that no, their thought leaders do things. They teach people how to put makeup on and they teach people how to dress. And I said, that's true. If they're really teaching, then I suppose they might be considered a thought leader. But I wondered about some of their influencers, and I won't name names since this is being recorded, but some of them, I still don't know how they made an impact on an industry or a generation. Thought leadership, the way I see it, is a very serious endeavor. You think about the abuses in thought leadership. Think about, what was the guy's name who sang the song and faked it? The two guys, Manili. You think about them, fake leadership. You think about, what was his name? Bernie Madoff, who came up with this Ponzi scheme and cheated people out of all of this money. Fake thought leadership. And so we just left the conversation agreeing to disagree. But Toastmasters, I'd love to get some feedback from you. Am I right about thought leadership? Does that authority triangle make sense to you? It makes perfect sense to me and no sense to the millennials. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Angela, for a very thought-provoking speech. And if everyone can send feedback to her through the chat, that would be great. And our second speaker tonight is Tricia Smith. Tricia's evaluator is now Deborah Carr. Deborah, could you please list Tricia's objectives for tonight?
Let me find them. Gotta find them. There we are. Purpose of this project is for Tricia to learn the different communication styles and identify her primary style. She is to have the impact, to share the impact that she has and how it affects her. The other thing is she will deliver the organized speech, and this is different than the first thing that I read. I'm sorry, because I was given 2 evaluation sheets. The most important thing, I'll just put in a nutshell, because this is different from what I read initially, is that she's supposed to give compelling content, use, man, oh man. This is the level 2 of her learning style, and the product is the project itself is understanding your communication style. I'm very sorry, I read two different forms, and this is it in a nutshell. I will evaluate better than what I read, though. That's it.
Thank you, Deborah. Tricia's speech is titled Communication Styles. This is from Visionary Communication Level 2, Learning Your Style. Understanding your communication style communication style determines the results of whether communication is effectively delivered and gets the desired result. There are different communication styles that can be used based on communication strengths, personal characteristics, and situational needs. What are the different communication styles and how can they be used? How can they be applied to different situations? Listen on for better understanding. Please welcome PM3 Tricia Smith. Communication styles.
Communication. It's a two-way process. The goal is to have a mutual understanding by using verbal, nonverbal, and written messages. So what is communication style? It's the way we interact with each other, the way that we send messages, and our behavior. Communicating with other people that have different communication styles is good because it helps us to build relationships and to have a better understanding of other perspectives. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters friends and guests. I'm Tricia Smith. I'm going to talk about communication styles, some facts, my styles, how I use them, some applications, and how communication styles can be adjusted to meet the situation. I'd like to share 3 pieces of information that are facts about communication. Did you know that 7% of our communication is in the words we use? 38% is in the vocal elements, like our tone or inflection. And 55% is in our nonverbal communication, our body language, our gestures. Think of this. Do you know of anybody who doesn't use verbal communication and they use sign language? They have to use gestures to express themselves? That's 100% of nonverbal communication. Toastmasters focused on 4 types of communication with this module: direct, initiative, analyzing, and supportive. Direct communicators are very goal and end result focused. They can be competitive. Maybe an upper manager or a manager might have that kind of communication style. Initiative communicators are very outgoing. They initiate conversation. They're social. They like to engage people. They encourage, and they're very persuasive. You might see those kinds of communicators as salespeople, telemarketers or marketers. And supportive communicators are people who are sympathetic, who are patient, resourceful. Those kinds of communicators are teachers, counselors, coaches, and analytical communicators. Those types of communicators rely on data and facts. Maybe they do research or rely on reports or performance. So let me tell you about my type of communication styles. According to Toastmasters assessment, my highest score was as an analytical communicator. I can understand that well because I use those skills every day in my work position. Analytically, I'm detailed oriented. I'm very problem solution oriented. I like to solve problems. I rely on data and facts and not emotions. I want those facts. I want information backed up with facts. My second type of communication has to do with being direct. To me, I could relate to that because, again, it's problem solution oriented. The one I can relate to more that's related to direct is a type that I found outside of Toastmasters. That's functional communication. I am a systematic person. I like a process. I do things with a process, step by step. I can explain it that way. I can analyze it that way. I can analyze the end results that way. I like feedback. I give it. I receive it. I like to know the who, what, when, where, why, how of situations. I use supportive skills in my work and outside of work as a health coach and as an educator, as a teacher, faculty coaching, because I provide resources. I like to solve problems. I like to help other people. I'm a good listener. And analytically, I'm very reserved and disciplined, good with time management. And with direct communication, it's important to know the what of situations. To me, I related these to personality styles as well, if you've heard of the DISC model. So communication styles can be adjusted. If you know your communication style, you can intentionally plan on how you're going to interact and share your information with others. Knowing your audience is important as well. How are they reacting? Are they listening? Are they paying attention? Are they using eye contact? Are they moving closer to you, away? Are they distracted? Are they talking on their cell phone? Are they talking to their neighbor? Do they have their arms crossed because they're uncomfortable, impatient? What's their facial expression like? Are they happy? Are they friendly? Are they smiling because they're enjoying themselves and understanding what's being presented? A lot of communication is knowing your audience. When you analyze your audience, you can change the way that you present as you present, or use that information to help you in the next time you communicate. How about listening? Listening. Let me give some tips on that. As a listener, it's really important that we don't walk into a situation and have an opinion or a bias or be critical or judgmental of someone, right? We're going to take the information. We're going to ask open-ended questions. We're going to summarize the information. We're going to reflect on the information to see how we can use it to our benefit. What are we there for to listen for? How can we apply it to our own lives? So how can we adjust our communication to meet the situational needs? By knowing our communication style and how we're going to share it, and intentionally paying attention to our audience and how they receive it. By looking at their body language, their gestures, their nonverbal communication. I just spoke about communication skills, my styles, facts, ways that we use the different types of communication, and how it can be adjusted to meet different situational needs. Communication is important for every type of relationship. What's your communication style? Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia, for a very informative speech. Anyone who'd like to send her feedback, please feel free to do so through the chat. And our final speaker for the night is Rosena Duncanson. Rosena's evaluator is Richard I am so sorry, Richard. Richard Durling. Hold on, I am so sorry.
You did that perfect.
Richard, could you please share Rosena's objectives for tonight?
I certainly can. Tonight, Rosena is working on completing a project in visionary communication called Connecting with Storytelling. Her goal is to tell a story tonight, whether it's one that she actually created or a story that she's heard in the past, or a mix of the two. That is the goal that she has tonight. Let's sit back and listen to her story, The Beauty of Recalculating. Back to you.
Thank you, Richard. Rosena's speech is titled The Beauty of Recalculating. This is from Visionary Communications Level 3, Increasing Knowledge, Connect with Storytelling. Rosena will complete the project of storytelling by sharing an experience when she had to recalculate on a journey. Please welcome VC1 Rosena Duncanson, The Beauty of Recalculating.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, and good evening, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Mic check, yes, perfect. For some reason, I can't. Here we go. So I remember it like it was yesterday. So for those that may not know, I actually live in Nassau, Bahamas. But every so often, I had to travel to the United States to take this exam. And of course, I'm not familiar with how to get around in the United States. So what I had with me was a GPS. No, not the cell phones that we have now that connects from state to state. Those didn't work then. I had one of those handheld portable GPSs that you had to plug in to get the right map for the right time. And so this particular trip, I was in a hurry. I was busy studying, trying to work, trying to pack. And when I got in the United States, I realized I forgot to download the new map. But I figured how much could have changed in just a few short months? I mean, really, how much changes could one big city have? So I said, it'll be fine. I'll be A-okay. And off I went. I took my exam. And after I'm done taking these exams, my way of unwinding is to go shopping, to go to the spa, and anything else that allowed me to relax. So here I am now getting to this mall. I jump into my car, I turn on my GPS, and I put in the destination. She says to me, in 200 meters, turn left. I listen and I turn left. She then says, in 100 meters, turn right. Got that covered. Right I go. Then she says, for 2 miles, keep going straight. Got it. I'm going straight. Halfway through that 2 miles, I see a wall. No, it wasn't a big wall, but it was a wall nonetheless. My car cannot go through this wall, but guess what? Beyond that wall was a body of water. I don't know if it was an ocean, a lake, I don't care what it was. My car is not going swimming. So now I have this wall and I have this body of water. What am I supposed to do? Lesson number 1, download the right map. But that's not the biggest lesson. The next lesson with me was fear not. Time to turn around. So I made a U-turn and I prayed that there was an alternate route to get me where I needed to go. Sure enough, she yells at me, recalculating, recalculating. I'm like, you know what, please go ahead and recalculate because I'm not going through this wall and I'm not going in that body of water. So finally she says to me, 100 meters, turn right. Okay, making some progress, we're turning right again and there's no wall. 200 meters, turn left. Okay, we're turning left. She finally says, in 50 meters, you'll arrive at your destination. Toastmasters and guests, I was ecstatic to know that I made it to a destination. Lesson number 1. Before you use an aged-old GPS, ensure that you've downloaded the correct map. But the other lesson was Thankfully, I had alternate maps to use. What if there was no alternate route? And there is beauty in recalculating and turning around. You see, I wasn't fearful about giving up on my destination by not taking that option to turn around. I faced my fears and said, I will try another way. And sometimes we gotta be okay with trying another way. But we have to make sure we have alternate maps. How do we get these alternate maps, Toastmasters and guests? You're gonna have to connect with the right source. How do you connect with the right source? News, studying, training, the right people that you keep around you are all ways to get the right map, because sometimes the destination we set out to have won't always work. We may need to take ourselves, make that U-turn and try another route, but we have to have that route handy. The next thing is we cannot be afraid of turning around. We have to be okay with letting things be shifted and changed. And guess what? There are going to be some walls that show up unexpectedly in our destination. And beyond that wall may just be a body of deep water. Life has a way of just throwing us some curveballs. Look at it. 2020, the entire world shifted to Zoom. But you see, my club, online presenters, we've been downloaded to the map of online presenting for a long time. We had the map. Others had to download, make that U-turn and that shift, let go of their fears and push beyond the wall that was placed there. And so I'm excited to know that there is beauty in recalculating. There's importance in downloading the right map, and do not be afraid of making that U-turn. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Rosena. Another excellent presentation for tonight. Please feel free to send any kind of feedback you have and like to send through the chat to Rosena. And our substitute timer for tonight is Donna Knight. Donna, could you please give a timer's report for the 3 speeches?
Thank you. I will also put it in the chat. Toastmaster Angela, 6 minutes 39. Toastmaster Tricia, 6 minutes 2 seconds. And Toastmaster Rosena, 5 minutes 56 seconds.
Thank you, Donna. Now, if everyone could please take a moment to cast your vote through the magical voting system from David, that would be great. Are you going to post that now, David?
Yes, I did.
Great. So thank you so much for voting.
Heard it again.
For the best speaker of the day. And we now move on to the table topics impromptu speaking portion of the meeting. Tonight's table topic master is Andrew Byrne. Please welcome Andrew Byrne, who I think actually goes by Andy.
Yes, thank you very much, Blondini. And I want to tell you that we're going to have fun during this section of table topics. And the first question I'm going to ask is, what magic have you experienced in your life? What magic have you experienced in your life? First question goes to Pamela Benjamin. And before you start, the time requirements, Donna can tell us the time requirements for table topics.
I knew I was getting called on that, so I was thinking as you said it. The closest I come to magical moments are when I'm running and I get a runner's high. Now, if you are not a runner, that doesn't seem that realistic. But when I was out on Friday, I started running. Actually, it was Sunday morning. I started running and my usual pace dropped by about 1.5 minutes. Now, the temperatures had a lot to do with that. And the temperatures were lower, so my breathing was so much more comfortable. It was a runner's high and I felt magical. In fact, I felt like Wonder Woman. So if you want to feel magical, keep working on something, because once you make a breakthrough, you feel powerful and you feel emboldened. And then you feel like you can change your entire world with just a wand.
Donna, could you tell the group how long table topics are supposed to be for in timing?
Yes, Mr. Table Topics Master. At 1 minute, you will see the green. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, you will see the red. And at 2 minutes, at 1 minute 30, you will see the yellow. And at 2 minutes, you will see the green.
Wonderful,
To qualify,
thank you.
you need a minimum of 1 minute.
Thank you. Many people see magic all around us. Some see it through fantasy. Many people are familiar with the Harry Potter books. And you remember that point in the movie where Hermione took everything she had, she put in this one bag. Using your own magic, if you were forced to eliminate every physical possession from your life, with the exception of what you can fit into a single backpack, what would you put in it using your magic? Christian.
Mr. Table Topics Master, I think the first thing that comes to mind is this device. This is going in my backpack, this and his friend, because I've got two of those. Definitely because I can run my life, and it's sad to say, I can run my life through my mobile device. It is sad, hoping no hackers listening to this right now. But the other things I would put in that backpack are the memories of the good times I've had, the magical moments. It would also be, I'll have to put a picture of my wife, because if he doesn't find it in the backpack, then backpack or not, I'm going to, not survive. And possibly some food to sustain, but definitely a Toastmasters magazine, because when the apocalypse comes or the magical moment arrives, and I can just, take out the magazine, use one of these, and go, and just share it to Toastmasters International, and hey, the magical backpack. I think it comes down to what we want to do in our lives, how we want to lead it, where we want to go. And backpacks are not only for magic or for survival, it's something that we carry every day. It's something that can help us through good times and bad times. For example, you have, hope it doesn't happen, you have an incident on the road, you're in your car driving like Rosena, and you actually hit a wall, which happened to me. What do? The first thing is you look in the boot of the car and you look for the backpack, because hey, you've got one of these devices that didn't crash with your car, and you can call for help. Yeah, me trying to be funny here. I think end of the day, it's about what we do with it. If it makes you happy, great. If you can use what's in the backpack, awesome. If you can change someone's life, well, I'm still thinking about how to do that with a backpack. But hey, what about you? What would you do with a backpack, Mr. Table Topics Master?
Thank you very much. People have said that silence conveys more meaning than words. And we've said that your words and your gestures are magical. Nick Lacani, what does silence convey more meaning than words? And that comes to your gestures.
Well, silence is golden because we all use it, don't you know? When we pause and breathe. And the images that we actually give are the images that our audience gets when we do pause, when our words hit them and they're able to percolate them, reflect upon them, and receive them and think about them. So therefore, silence is not just 5 minutes, 15 minutes. Silence could be as little as 1 second. And make sure you do very well when you actually go and be silent. Now, in terms of pictures, what could it come up with? It could come up with the magic show on stage. And I remember as a 5-year-old watching my first magic show when the magician paused, waited for the gasps, waited for the anticipation, and then revealed that the gold watch that he had put into this hat revealed that is now 3 doves flying into the night sky. And there was no watch to be seen. He turned the hat inside out. Now, when that silence came, there were gasps. The imagery was there, it was physical, but also the realization that this particular lady's gold watch was no more. It had gone, disappeared. Poof. No more and never to be seen again. The imagery is always there, but make sure you plant it within your speech. Back to you, Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Nick. The last question is, as a magician, you're going to spend most of your time during the day practicing your tricks, creating new tricks, thinking about your magic. How do you spend the majority of your free time? And I asked that question to, look around, that's roll, Carolina.
I think that I'm not sure if I have a free time because I'm very passionate about everything I do since the morning until the night. I wake up, I train, then I work on things I'm passionate about. Then I'm here in this meeting because I love this meeting. I spend some time with family, but I'm not sure if I have free time because all my time I'm doing things that I love, that I feel free, and I don't need some free time to don't do some things because everything I do, I'm passionate about. And I know that sometimes people are always looking for free time, but I think you should look for things that you love in order to not be looking all the time free time to free yourself from your daily duties. That's it. My work, training, my family, friends, and books I love, Toastmasters. That's it. No free time. Just do what you love, what you feel passionate about. And if you haven't found your passion yet, keep looking. And as Steve Jobs said, don't settle.
Wonderful. We had 4 great table topics. Pam Benjamin talked about her magic moments. Christian talked about the magic in his backpack. Nick talked about the value of silence, and Carolina talked about not having any free time. Send your evaluation to David Carr on the chat box under private chat and let us know who you thought gave the best thinking, moving evaluation during this table topic time. I return the meeting to you, Miss Topic Master of the Day. That's me.
Can we check the timer's report as well?
Excuse me?
We check the
report. Donna's timer's report is going to go in the chat box. Donna, do you want to refresh everyone's memory?
Yes, I can. Oh, I'm going to do both. It's now in the chat just for everyone. We have Pamela 56 seconds, Christian 153, Nick 158, and Carolina 135.
Okay. The timing requirement is 1 minute. So could you vote for Christian, Nick, or Carolina for this portion of our meeting? And we will give the results at the end of the meeting. I turn it back over to the next portion of our meeting. Let me turn it over to the Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Andy. Thanks for the awesome questions, and thanks to the table topic speakers for sharing such wonderful, magical experiences. It is a magical Toastmaster meeting tonight. So the next portion of our meeting, we're moving on to the evaluations. Our general evaluator for tonight is Smalenko. So he will lead the evaluation portion of the meeting. Please welcome Smalenko.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the day, the great Blondini. What a wonderful evening, what a magical one. However, the most magical part of the evening, to my mind, is evaluation. This online presenters is famous of. We're giving feedback, quality, actionable feedback to the speakers, that speakers can improve their speeches and bring more value to their audience. My role as a general evaluator, introduce the evaluators for today. And then in the end of that, my role is just give more time to the helpers, all those magical people who help to run this meeting nicely and smoothly. And there is no illusion in their work. Well, let me start with doing one thing. I would like to ask our timer for today, Donna, to remind the timing for evaluators' speeches, please.
Thank you, evaluators. Please pay attention. At 2 minutes, you will see the green, and at 2.5 minutes, you will see the yellow, and at 3 minutes, you will see the red, Mr. Evaluator.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Madam Timer. The first evaluator for today, who's going to come up on this magical podium, is Lee Sen-Zhu. We'll be evaluating speaker one, Angela Heath. Lee Sen-Zhu, please.
Thank you. A general evaluator, Toastmasters and the fellow Toastmaster and guests. This is my second time to evaluate Angela Heath's speech, and I wish I will do a better job this time. Angela, I love your speech. You start very strong with a question, what are the thought leadership? And then you end with a question, what do you think about false leadership? It's a very good structure. And in the main body, you articulate very well what are the true thought leadership and what are the false thought leadership. And you give examples. So the message are very thought-provoking. And your delivery is fantastic. Your eye contact are perfect all the times. I feel like you are speaking to me. And I like the way you put your slide, you do the animation when you describe about the thought triangle. And I like the way you speak very clearly. Pretty much I can understand every one of your words. And also your vocal variety is perfect. There are a few things I would like you to pay attention to. First, you want the slide when you have the definition of thought leadership. When you have that slide and when you talk, I feel like I kind of torn between listening to you and to read the slide. So end up, I really did not get the message 100%. So that's one issue. You might want to reduce the word of your slide a bit next time. And secondly, you give examples of the false thought leadership. I also heard, but I didn't really hear much of the example for the true leadership. Could you give more example or some example of true thought leadership or their consequence? That's second one. And then third one is also about false leadership. I would like to hear why we have so many people are engaged in false thought leadership. Last one, I heard you say millennium may not agree with you. I would feel like it's probably a little bit overgeneralized because it's not only millennium are having false leadership, for having those false thought leadership issues. Maybe some of us who are no longer young also have the same issues. So overall, you have a great speech and your delivery is great. And I'm sure next time you will have an even greater speech. And I look forward for the next one. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Lee Sang-soo. And now, coming up on this magical podium is evaluator number 2, Deborah Carr, who will be evaluating speaker Tricia Smith. Deborah, you're muted, I think.
Nice.
It's all good now.
Yes, thank you. Tricia, I was really very impressed with your speech because you were supposed to come right out and have learned the different communication styles and understand, but the most important thing is understanding your personal style. Your voice was strong. Also, you've really improved your eye contact. More importantly, your pacing has improved greatly since the last time I've heard you speak. You started right out with facts about about personal presentation. You gave percentages of appearance being 55% of body language, 38% of vocal, and only 7% of the words that we say has an impact on our overall presence. You explained thoroughly the 4 styles of communication techniques too. You dove deep into your own personal style, which I felt was really wonderful, because that means that you really studied not only the 4 styles, but what your style itself is. You're analytical, you're direct, leaning more towards functional and systematic, and while you're also using supportive measures for your work. You also explained how knowing the audience and how you can, by knowing the audience, how we can prepare better to interact with them. I also love the way you wrapped up your speech by giving a brief overview of everything that you'd said. Since you shared with me privately that you have a new webcam, overall, to be honest, I feel you did very well. I suggest that you continue to work on it, even if you want to put a colored dot at the bottom of your screen to bring your eyes down, because it's so easy to get brought right up to the webcam itself, but you don't want to be looking up. The other thing I believe that would be beneficial is to watch when you think, many of us do this, is that we look out the corner of our eyes while we're thinking for a second. Try to keep the focus rate forward. The other thing that I can suggest is, why not give the speech in another setting? If you have a local Toastmasters group, I would do it, and it's because it's informative, it explains so much and makes people think about their own presentation styles. The thought is to expand it even in length. And as I mentioned, you can give it to Toastmasters group, or even with your own work to the people that you train. Overall, I believe you did just absolutely excellent. And it was nice to evaluate you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah, with magical evaluation of Tricia Smith. And we're moving on to evaluation number 3. Richard Darling, evaluating speaker number 3, Rosena Duncanson. Richard, please take it away.
Rosena, I think you accomplished all of the goals of this project with flying colors. I want to compliment you for standing. Excellent thing to do. You used the camera extremely well from the standpoint that you did maintain eye contact. Let's talk about vocal variety. Just in the act of using recalculating, you changed your voice. Again, a well done piece of work. A lot of very strong words throughout the entire speech. Things like don't be afraid, excited, recalculating, or wall. All of those words really help bring the speech to life. You also did really good gestures. Everything you did, from recalculating to tying that directly to how you have to change a little bit sometimes when you're going through life. Your gestures really help the story. Now, I have a couple of things I'm going to offer and one challenge to you. First, either change the angle of your light or try tipping your glasses down a little bit when you're going to give a speech if you can't adjust the angle of the light, because at times you were actually getting a full reflection of the light in your glasses. Another thing for you to consider is during the transition from the story to lessons that applied in life, early on you used the word lessons, lesson learned. I had to get the correct map downloaded. While that was a good place to use that, using it later to transition into the purpose of this, the reason you told the story and how it related to life, you use lessons to bring it to life. If you can put that lessons word only there, and perhaps at the beginning say something like note to self or some other variation, I think it'll make that transition a little bit stronger. Now, you've got a number of things that you did that I really, really liked in gestures. Steepled fingers, you used wall, circle, etc. Here's a challenge for you. When you're using gestures, every once in a while, let your arms fall to your sides, because otherwise it starts to look like you're just holding them there and using them as a platform. The act of allowing your hands to drop to your sides, or at least become neutral, becomes very similar to a pause in the story. Drop your hands down, carry on with your speech, and bring those active hands back into it when you need them. That is a challenge to you. It's something I'm actually working on myself, and I thought I'd share that with you. Again, all the way across the board, an excellent speech. Eye contact, standing, use of words, use of gestures. I really am looking forward to your next speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rick. With his evaluation, speaker number 3. Now, Madam Timer, Donna Knight, would you be so kind and tell us the evaluator's timing, please? You are unmuted, Donna. Donna, you're muted. We cannot hear you. I'm sorry.
I'm doing a little magic trick. Yes, you want him. Yes. Toastmaster Lysing, 3 minutes 27. They're about 2 minutes 43. And Toastmaster Marty, 2 minutes 58. All have qualified.
Brilliant. So all evaluators qualified for voting, and please follow that link in the chat where you can place your votes for the best evaluator. And now we get into the most exciting magical parts of the evening, where all the helpers, everyone who helped to run this evening magically and smoothly, will give their short speeches. And I would like to limit your speeches to just 30 seconds because we're running a little bit tight on our schedule. So 30 seconds is my challenge to you. To our first helper is our counter, Lucas Calafel.
Thank you very much. We have our all counter report here, starting off with our Toastmaster and all the other role speakers, evaluators that participated in tonight's meeting. You see in the columns D through N, all of the different crutch words, and if there is a number there in your row, that means that you said that crutch word. We had a total of 37, so definitely not a bad performance overall. And our most popular crutch word of the evening was ah. Thank you very much, and back to you.
Brilliant. So thank you, Lucas. And next is grammarian report from Graham Kearns. 30 seconds, please, Graham.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I'm only going to mention that nobody used the word magic, or at least a number of people used the word magic. There was nobody that I noted used the actual word, which was illusion. But anyway, one high point for me, I love the use of the triple by Angela, blood, sweat, and tears. Those triplets work really well. One observation, Deborah, you did absolutely excellent. You need something else, a noun after that. The excellent there is an adjective. You did an excellent job, but you did absolutely excellent, just doesn't quite work. Want to make an observation about grammar here. Carolina's phrasing and sentence structure is different, as is Lee Seng's and Christian's and Andre's, and even to an extent Nick's, but that does not matter because grammar does not have to be perfect. What it should be is telling us what we need to know. And everybody tonight did that very well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Graham. Watcher, Mr. Jim Barber, please take it away.
Yes, Mr. General Evaluator. As far as the visual presence, everybody did great. So let me simply move on to our interpretation of the theme of the day and the word of the day. And let me say that, frankly, everybody coming together for a Toastmasters meeting from around the world, this is the ultimate illusion. And this is, from my point of view, the ultimate act of magic. So kudos to everybody for simply being here. You've done good.
Thank you very much, Jim. And next is our chat monitor, Laura De Anda.
Yes, Mr. General Evaluator, I will keep it short and sweet. There are plenty of kudos for Angela Heath in her new role as Sergeant at Arms, and also for her speech, as well as kudos for the other ladies as well for their speeches. There was one comment about the verbal versus nonverbal. Mr. Carnes linked an article about how that is actually based on flawed research. So back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Laura, for such a concise and precise report. And now, another exciting part of the evening. We're going to find out the best evaluator, the best speaker, and the best table topic speaker as well. Now, Mr. Duncanson, please reveal.
Ta-da! Well, working backwards from evaluator, Rick Durling! Yay! Table topics, the fabulous Carolina Ramirez. And speaker of the evening, Rosena Duncanson. Woohoo! Did not hit a wall.
Wow, brilliant. Congratulations to our winners. I know a bit pressed on time, but still one comment as a general evaluator I would like to make. I would like to praise Kim Leeming, our new member, jumping into this role, Toastmaster of the Day, Miss Blondini. I would like to everyone to unmute yourself and give a general round of applause to our new member, Kim Leeming.
Well done. Excellent.
Excellent.
Kim.
Hey, and now with all this in mind, I would like to pass this magical stage to our club president.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. And yes, again, big congratulations to Kim for just running a great show for us this evening and keeping on track with time and so forth. I know we had a lot of announcements and various things going on. Congratulations again to Toastmaster Angela Heath for being elected our new Sergeant at Arms. Looking forward to working with you on that. Yes, please hang around. We're going to be officially ending and stopping the recording, but we would love to get your thoughts on our meeting tonight. Mr. VPE, do you have any last minute announcements before we go into your role filling segment, which we'll do a little later?
I would like to turn the screen on to our guests that came tonight and hear something from them, and then ask everybody to hang on so that we can fill in the schedule for next week. And I'd like to do that next week. For me is Rosh Hashanah, so I will not be here, but I look forward to getting the schedule done for everybody else.
Okay, wonderful. So we will officially end the meeting. This meeting is now closed.